So curious to know, what indie games are you playing at the moment? Is there anything that's caught your eye, before it's come out, or have you contacted many developers, indie developers as well?
Yeah, so what am I playing right now? I'm playing a couple. I actually just got a code for Arrive, which is coming out soon. You're cussing me because yours hasn't arrived yet, but the developers kind of sent us a code. So that was one that's kind of piqued my interest. I love that kind of dual, or I like the idea of the dual stick shooter. It's got a very interesting kind of spacey theme to it. I love it, so that's very cool. It's also got very reminiscent of Meat Boy at times, like very like, and you're dead, and you're back into it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So games have caught my eye. The ones that I'm looking forward to in 2017, and I'm going to say 2018-ish because I don't know for sure the release dates. Dimension Drive. I played that over at EGX, and that was really cool. So for those, I don't know if do you remember Dimension Drive at all? Have you seen this one? So this is the one where the screen is split in half, and you're able to jump back and forth. Yeah. So that one's really cool. I'm looking forward to that one. Dendara. So Dendara is a 12, 18-bit game. No, not 18-bit. 16-bit game. Metroidvania style, where you don't have like a traditional normal jump. You kind of you have to shoot yourself from point A to point B. And it's got, so it's the foreground is 16-bit, but the background is like high def, very crisp. So it's very juxtaposition of graphics. So that one's really cool. Dendara. What was the other one I was looking forward to? Shu, SHU. Played that one over to EGX as well. That's actually a game that's on Steam, as I recall, but it's coming out soon for the Switch. I'm excited for that one. Stick It to the Man. Stick It to the Man's coming out soon. Flipping Death, I'm excited for. Super Meat Boy. I'm excited. I get to play that. I played that in actually an interview with Tommy from Meat Boy. And that was a great experience. Actually, sit down with the developer and actually watch them play the game, and I realized how shitty I was at the game. Yeah. That is a hard game no matter what, right? Those are the big ones. I mean, Rocket League. Rocket League comes out next week. I don't even know if that's an indie. I don't really know anymore. It's hard to tell. Yeah. Like those are some of the ones that I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's a ton that I'm forgetting in there too. But those are some of the indie games that I'm really excited for. Indies are killing it. Like they were killing it before on the Wii U, but there wasn't the install base in the Wii U for people to really stand up and pay attention to it, right? But now everyone's like, oh wow, these games are really good. I'm like, yeah, they were on the Wii U, or some of them were, but no one got it. Tesselgrad is another great example. It's coming out, I think, in December, and oh shoot, they have a follow-up to Tesselgrad. Who is that? Oh, my brain is breaking. It's done by the same developer as Tesselgrad.
Oh, World to the West.
Yes, there. Thank you. Look at that, World to the West. Yeah. I hear it's coming to Switch as well. Yeah. So I'm super excited for that stuff. I actually have a challenge of there are so many games on the Switch right now that I'm challenged to go back. I looked at your Switch. How many games? Hold on. Let's talk about that, shall we? Before I ask you which games you're excited for, how many games do you have on your Switch?
I have nearly 120 apps installed on my Switch.
I have 22. 22. You are absolutely mad. But let me ask you though, obviously as a connoisseur, as a man who consumes and does a lot of reviews of indie games, what are you excited for indies?
Let's see. See, there's some games that hasn't even been announced yet.
Oh, that you know.
I might know. I'll say. I don't. No, I can't really say anything. I'll say offline. Let's go offline.
Wow, that's an amazing game.
I believe there is games out there that we haven't seen that the public don't even know about yet.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point. It does feel like from when we hear about a game to when it's announced, the window seems shorter. And I don't know if Nintendo's getting better at that or some of the publishers are getting better at that.
It's a good thing, though.
Oh, I think it is. I hate those long, drawn-out waits. Right? There are some indie games out there who've been like, it's been like 9 months, and you're like, any day now? But I do like how speedy some of these games are. That you're like, oh, those just announced? Oh, that's out? Yeah. That's awesome, because the hype for it is usually so high. We talked a little bit about that back here earlier, about like Watch Dogs is a great example, right? A game has a natural hype or excitement as people lead up to it, right? So you want that to be soon, or the proper amount soon enough to do it, and then kind of naturally let it drop off, right? Odyssey's a great example, right? Show us Odyssey in March, and you're playing it like 6 months later. That's a great window for that, right? But for indies, you need the kind of same cycle. So, I don't know. So, any games you're excited for? That you can actually tell us on the podcast.
I'm excited for Star Wars next week. Battlefront 2. No, honestly, yeah, I'm excited for Flippin' Death. I cannot wait for that game.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited for that there. Sick of the Man, of course. I did know about it.
Yes.
I did say it. I did know about it for a while, but I could not say anything, you know. Faye, yeah. Yeah, amazing game. Like me, Mark, and Bobby were doing a live gameplay, well, a multiplayer experience with Klaus from Sun Games, playing Zombie Vikings. And he was like, "Do you want to see something that you mightn't think you want?" And we're like, "Yeah, of course." And then he shows this like built-in beta demo in the game, and I'm there going, "Holy shit!" And it's just amazing.
Yeah, like it's those kind of like I love those kind of like, oh, by the way, let me just show you this thing, right, that you're working on, and yeah, and I think that's early. Is that not early 2018, Faye?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right. And I mean, and obviously, and then like you said, they announced Ticket to the Man a couple of weeks ago, right? And that's the 23rd. Like it's just killing it. Like it's almost maddening of how many games come out that you're like, I don't even like, what week is it? Oh, it's this week. Okay, it's this game, right? So
That's the thing, though. There's so many great games.
yeah.
Like you said there, that the Wii U had a lot of these games. Well, some of them, on the system, but like no one took notice. But like Switch is already doing, I think, selling over half the amount of Wii U in its lifetime sales, which is insane.
For 6 months.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like the Switch is out a year in March. Like that just speaks like literally numbers for you. It's deadly.
Yeah, I think that, and I mean, again, we can go back to what was going on here. The amount of traction, the amount of interest that people had around the Switch when we were playing it here. Again, Nintendo hasn't even had a holiday season with the the Switch, and they're at 7 million. Yeah. Right. So imagine how many people were like, "Oh, we're gonna wait for the Christmas bundle, right? We're gonna wait for the Odyssey bundle, so we're gonna get it for you in Christmas." Like, I am so interested in seeing at the end of March what Nintendo's fiscal report is, because I'm willing to bet you in that first year they may have almost surpassed the entire Wii U life cycle, right? And I'm thinking like we're gonna have if they track this way with more killer games. I mean, I think it's easy to say a 40 to 50 million Switches units in the wild life cycle. I'm going to presume there's a 4 to 5 year cycle there, right? Which is kind of really interesting because that would be just a little bit under what we typically see from a 3DS. 3DS family is around 70,000, right? And I do think because it kind of cannibalizes some of that market, I think it creates this kind of like mid-tier between that as well. So they're playing like an electric guitar or something version of Link. I get distracted by shiny things easily, apparently. Sorry. But yeah, it's incredible. Like, Nintendo is killing it. But the question is, right, in your first 6 months, they've already put out Breath of the Wild, the Zelda game, right, and Mario, right? Like when I think of tiers of characters and tiers of games, those are your number ones, right? Those are your tier, those are your A pluses, and you've let off your first year with that. Do you have the depth, or what else do you have in your catalog that's going to continue that level of hype, right? I mean, for Mario to sell, was in 3 days 2.5 million copies, right? Like that's mad, right? And for Zelda to have at one point a 102% attachment rate to the Switches sold, that's mad. What is Nintendo going to do in 2018, 2019, 2020 to continue this thing? We know some things, right? We know there's a Yoshi game. Is Yoshi enough to really build hype? Probably not. Kirby's like the death march of a machine. Smash Brothers is there. Are we going to see another Mario Kart? Are we going to see another Mario? You've already put out Splatoon too, right? We know Metroid is somewhere out there, but what else? Pokemon's killer, right? But what else are we going to see? More new IPs from Nintendo? What are they doing? Could we see potentially Mario Odyssey DLC? Could we see a Mario Odyssey 2? Could we see a more expansion or more life in Breath of the Wild? Yeah. Like beyond just our next DLC, is there another patch of DLC? Is there maybe what I would call like a Breath of the Wild Majora's Mask DLC packet? Yeah. Right? I mean, if you think of how quickly Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask, they reuse a lot of those assets. Could they do the exact same thing with Breath of the Wild? Could there be something new? So I don't know. Like, what do you think of all this? Am I mad?
No, you're not mad, but like where is our Animal Crossing game? You know, for example.
You're getting it later this month on your phone.
I don't want that. I want it on my Switch. Like there. I said it to Mark as well on our podcast. Why the hell did Nintendo not remake, HD Master New Leaf for Wii U? It was perfect. But no, they wasted it.
Yeah.
They really did. They wasted their sources and their time on making Happy Home Designer, and Amiibo Festival.
Yeah, yeah.
Who the hell? I'm sorry, but who asked for them games? Who wanted them?
My daughter really loves Happy Home Designer. But but in all fairness, she was 6. Like, it's kind of her target audience, right? But no one else, no mature gamer or more grown gamer. But in all fairness, I don't know if I want to use the term grown gamer and Animal Crossing in the same sentence, really. I think our friends like Adam Leonard from Megadads have a little bit of Adam Leonard. Have you heard of them? No. Okay, check them out. They're an okay podcast. They're not great, but they're okay. That's a jerk statement, isn't that? He has a crazy obsession with Animal Crossing. But I mean, even when you talk about the Animal Crossing on the mobile device, right? The hype for that is unreal. Like, people are really excited. But yeah. Zach's got a copy of it. He uses an Australian account. He's all into that weird stuff. I'm gonna wait for it to show up here when it shows up here. Yeah. I've got enough to play right now, right? Like the last thing I need is an Animal Crossing on my phone. Like, I feel like saying, Nintendo, you know what? A little bit of maybe your time. You take some of your time in the corner. You just sit there, just relax, don't do anything, and just let us play what we have would be nice. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see what they have in 2018. I'm a little bit worried, to be completely honest. I don't feel like I should be, but I just, I don't know.
Is Metroid enough for next year?
Metroid's not going to be next year. Metroid's going to be 2019. And I say that, I'm not saying like confidently, like, I know. I would love to, Nintendo calls me a lot. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think Metroid's 2018. I think they're a 2019 game probably. But I could be wrong. Like, maybe that is part of their cycle. Maybe that's part of maybe it's the July 2018. I mean, E3 is going to tell us more. I mean, the fact that, hopefully, right? They would just show me like, well, we got nothing. What do you want, right? And I guess where's our, Earthbound 3 and all that stuff. The Virtual Console, right? They've got that stuff on the go. So I don't know.
Well, like, Earthbound 3 is on the Game Boy Advance, to be fair, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, to be fair, right?
Yeah. So thanks for coming on the show, Annie. Much appreciated.
Hey, no worries. Thanks so much for having me on. This is great. Oh, yeah, people can find us on Nintendo Dads. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter. I was like, what else are we on? We're on YouTube. Thank you. Yeah, yes. If you want to plug where I go, we're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, subscribe to our podcast. And we are on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Anywhere you can find a podcast, we're on that feed. So check it out.
Again, thanks for coming on. And, it's great meeting you in person.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks very much.
I should hope so, but anyway.
I like your set, by the way.
Thanks.
It's very
It's I know, I really haven't. Yeah. So, guys, you can, of course, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Vine, and Twitch, and more Nintendo and gaming. Keep it right here. Thanks for watching. And as always, guys, stay fresh.